On one level, in one way, the spiritual process means to become like a mountain, stable, still.
Lack of equanimity is not a question of what we are doing, it's about how we are. How much control do we have on our own thought process, our emotion, our chemistry, our energies? To what extent is this human mechanism in your hands?
The yogic system has powerful systems through which you can take charge of your body, your mental process, your emotional processes, your chemistry and your energetic processes into your hands. This is very important.
It's fantastic to be here at the foothills of these mountains. Many decades of my life, first half of my life went looking for them. Because I had to unload my load. Now it's now I'm able to be hardly here. On one level, in one way, the spiritual process means to become like a mountain, stable, still. Because it's only when somebody has a very stable base, many things can be done. Exuberance of life is possible only if there is absolute stability. Otherwise, exuberance will lead to madness. Yes? That's why a lot of people who are a little creative, little active, little exuberant, always end up being freaky and nearly insane. Because without stability, you cannot have a dance going. This is why Shiva means stillness, Shiva means dance at the same time. Either you see him sitting absolutely still, or you see him in an explosion of dance, because an explosion is possible only when there is a stable base. An explosion which is not destructive is possible only when there is stability. And stability, people try to become stable by controlling and trimming their lives. This is the way your grandmother would tell you how to be stable. Control yourself, then you will be stable. Yes, if you're dead, you will be stable. Very. I promise you that. So normally, people who talk about stability are all constipated existence. You know what's constipation? That means it happens little by little. Their joy, their love, their ecstasy happens little by little, here and there. That's constipation. So, stability is not because you have trimmed your life down or pruned it down to minimal and you're stable. That's of no consequence. Stability because you see everything utterly clearly. That is why when we say Adiyogi, we're talking about stability, at the same time an exuberant dance. This is possible only because he has more than two eyes, not necessarily three, more than two. That means he sees much more than most people ever see. Because he sees much more, able to be stable. If you see only one part of it, you cannot be stable. So the entire effort is to see better. Darshan seeing, The entire culture has always been talking about it. You go to temple not for sending petitions, but for darshan, to see better. Fundamentally, why people are not able to see what is there with life is simply because identifications with so many things. Starting with the body, the identifications have gone into so many things. The moment you identify with something, your entire mind understands that it needs to be protected and just works for that. So how do I break my national identity, my religious identity, my racial identity? You don't have to go like this. If you break your identification with your own body, it's gone. Everything is gone because everything is rooted in that. Everything is just an amplification of your identification with the limited boundaries of your own body. The moment you get identified with this, rest of the identification is only multiplication. And it multiplies pretty rapidly. The more successful you are with whatever you're doing, you will multiply much faster. And you will be able to see less and less as your identities grow, the drama, the psychological drama raises in crescendo, won't allow you to see anything, your own thoughts and emotions will drown you. Unfortunately, the world has been constantly pushing people to believe that what's happening in your mind is very important. I've been trying to convince the world what's happening in your mind is just trash. No, Sadhguru, I'm thinking about God, that is also trash. Maybe a bit holy trash, but still trash. Because in your mind, God cannot come, devil cannot come, angels cannot come, only thoughts come. It's a fool who identifies one thought as sacred, another thought as something else. Thought means something that's not real right now. Thought means old garbage is festering in your mind. You need to think to survive about this and that. But you don't need to think to explore something new. You don't need to think to become enlightened. Because what will you think? You will only think the past data which is in your head, in many different ways maybe. How many varieties of expressions your rubbish finds is of no value to life. Maybe socially there is some value. In some places when I go internationally, people are saying, he's a thought leader. I say, oh. No thought in my head. So seeing clearly, seeing everything, that your vision is not obstructed by yourself. If this one thing happens, stability will happen. Exuberance, you don't have to worry because that's the nature of life itself. Everything is exuberant. Stability it takes to allow exuberance to happen, otherwise you keep curtailing your exuberance because it hurts when it's out of balance. If you're out of balance and you move at a certain speed, you're going to hurt yourself. Whether you're riding a bicycle or you're riding the cosmos, if you're out of balance and you attain speed, you're going to hurt yourself very badly. So balance is very important, and balance that comes out of curtailment is not balance, that's, packaged death. Yes, you package death in a certain way and it looks very decent and dignified, because dead are always very dignified. Have you seen this? They never did anything indecent, did they? So essentially, everything is rooted in the clarity of vision, and that'll not come unless there's some distance between what is me and what is my body. If this distance is not there, then multiplication of identities will it's an inevitable consequence.
Lack of equanimity is not a question of what we are doing, it's about how we are. How much control do we have on our own thought process, our emotion, our chemistry, our energies? To what extent is this human mechanism in your hands? It's like this. See, let's say you don't know how to ride a bicycle. You just sat on a bicycle which was on a stand and you were just pedaling for fun, but it came off the stand and started going. Anxiety or no? It started going fast. Fear or no? Started going very fast. Terror or no? Yes. But if you know how to ride the bicycle, faster it goes, fun, isn't it? The same thing with this. All my life I risk my life for nothing, not for the country, simply for the fun of it. Every day I risk my life for something, because otherwise I can't live without danger. This is my problem. I have to do something where I'm on the edge. So, a whole lot of people are doing adventure sports. Why? Because the more you take it to the edge, there is more fun in it. The question is, are you equanimous to enjoy it, or are you going to freak?
The mind is an endless game. You should not play it all the time. You must understand, mind is an instrument, mind is a vehicle. Like body, mind is a vehicle through which you travel this life. So the important thing is life, not mind. If your mind creates misery for you, you must understand that you are not holding the steering wheel of your mind. The handlebars are not in your hands, so it's going all over the place. A vehicle that goes all over the place exists as an accidental existence, otherwise it'll crash. So this whole struggle that human beings are going through in terms of various psychological issues, from a simple sense of stress, tension, anxiety, to more complex or more compelling forms of depressiveness, manic depressiveness, all this essentially means in some way your mind has turned against you. Your mind, which is your instrument, your vehicle to walk through this life, has turned against you. If the vehicle that you're driving turns against you, how do you believe that your journey will be smooth? Forget about reaching a destination that you want to go to. How do you even believe that your journey will be pleasant and wonderful? So it's most important that our education systems need to include aspects into education where how to keep our body, how to keep our mind in such a way that they function as willing vehicles to transport us to go where we want to go. The yogic system has powerful systems through which you can take charge of your body, your mental process, your emotional process. your chemistry and your energetic processes into your hands. This is very important. If you have some mastery over your physical body, 15 to 20% of your life and destiny will happen the way you want it. If you have some mastery over your psychological processes of thought and emotion, 50 to 60% of your life and destiny will happen the way you want it. If you have mastery over your life energies, 100% of your life and destiny will happen just the way you want it. Your body and your mind must work for you. This is very, very important. There are simple methods. If you invest just a few minutes a day, you can change this for yourself